Welcome to a nuanced investigation into one of the most talked about controversies in the gaming world right now, the escalating drama surrounding Subnautica 2. We're diving deep for a fair and nuanced look at the situation between Krafton, Unknown Worlds, and the three senior developers at the heart of the controversy. This isn't about finding villains or victims. It's about understanding the complex motivations, the differing perspectives, and the intricate workings of an industry where creativity, commerce, and human relationships often collide. We'll check out the official statements, the community's reactions, and the broader industry context to get the fullest picture possible. So, welcome to the Mish Pit. Let's descend into the murky waters of the Subnautica 2 drama. The story begins in October 2021, when South Korean publisher Krafton, known for titles like PUBG, acquired Unknown Worlds Entertainment. At the time, this seemed like a promising partnership. Unknown Worlds, celebrated for its unique blend of survival, exploration, and atmospheric storytelling, would gain the resources of a larger publisher, while Krafton would expand its portfolio with a beloved and successful IP. A crucial element of this acquisition, as is common in many such deals in the gaming industry, was an earn-out clause. Reports indicate that this earn-out could be as high as $250 million, contingent on Subnautica 2 meeting certain performance targets. What makes this particularly relevant to our story is the understanding that the former leadership of Unknown Worlds, including co-founders Charlie Cleveland and Max McGuire and former CEO Ted Gill, intended to share a significant portion of this bonus with the entire development team. This was a substantial incentive not just for the executives, but for every individual who poured their passion into the game. Fast forward to July 2025. The gaming world was abuzz with news that Subnautica 2, originally slated for an early access launch in early 2024, was being delayed to 2026. This announcement, however, was quickly overshadowed by another, far more dramatic development: the sudden departure of Unknown Worlds CEO Ted Gill and co-founders Charlie Cleveland and Max McGuire. Krafton wasted no time in issuing a strong statement, laying the blame squarely on the shoulders of the departing executives. They asserted that an internal milestone review conducted in May 2025 revealed that Subnautica 2 lacked sufficient content volume and polish. Krafton claimed the game was missing key features, including 2 biomes, a leviathan, a vehicle, a game mode, and a significant portion of its narrative content. They argued that the delay was a necessary step to ensure the game met their high standards and deliver on player expectations. In an unusually harsh tone for a corporate statement, Krafton expressed a profound sense of betrayal by the former leadership, accusing them of failing to honor the trust placed in them and abandoning their responsibilities. They even went as far as to accuse Charlie Cleveland of prioritizing a personal film project over Subnautica 2's development. An interesting detail supports Krafton's note that Charlie was focused elsewhere. In April, on his filmmaking podcast, Charlie himself said he was taking a break from video games. With that confirmation, there's no reason to doubt Krafton's portrayal of his shifting priorities. This aligns with his own public statements, independent of the Subnautica drama. Krafton also disclosed that it had repeatedly asked both Charlie and Max to return to their roles as game director and technical director, respectively, but both declined. Interestingly though, in Krafton's Q3 2023 financial earnings report, the release window was listed as first half of 2025, not 2024, calling into question the later narrative that a missed 2024 deadline prompted the shakeup. Then followed a rather game-changing moment. Leaked slides from the Krafton's May 2025 milestone review were confirmed authentic by both Krafton and multiple outlets, showing internal details like cut biomes, removed leviathans, trimmed chapters, and reduced modes. These slides painted a clear picture. The game had undergone substantial content and polish cuts and was flagged as an MVP. MVP means minimum viable product. The narrative, however, quickly took another turn. Just days after Krafton's public accusations, Charlie Cleveland, speaking out on behalf of himself, Ted Gill, and Max McGuire, issued a powerful counterstatement. He confirmed that the 3 ousted executives had filed a lawsuit against Krafton. Cleveland described the situation as explosive and surreal, asserting that suing a multi-billion-dollar company was not something he desired. Cleveland directly contradicted Krafton's claims about the game's readiness. He maintained that Subnautica 2 was, in their view, ready for early access release. He explained that developers live for this kind of moment, putting their work into players' hands, and that the only reason the launch wasn't happening was because, after being ousted, the game was simply not currently under their control. Addressing the contentious $250 million earnout, Cleveland denied Krafton's implication that the three executives intended to keep the bulk of it for themselves. He stated that this was totally untrue and emphasized their historical practice of sharing profits with the team. He reiterated their intention to share the earnout with the entire development staff, arguing that the team deserved it for their incredible work. And there's more to the earnout story. The $250 million earnout package was split in contract as $225 million to the founders and $25 million to the broader team, but initially only the 40 original staff were to receive it. That's why the founders believed the entire staff deserved another bonus, an issue Krafton has presented as if everything was already paid out. As the details of the dispute emerged, the gaming community, especially the passionate Subnautica fanbase, erupted. The prevailing sentiment, particularly on platforms like Reddit, quickly tumbled into a strong call for a boycott of Subnautica 2. Many users expressed their deep support for the ousted developers, viewing them as victims of corporate greed and overreach. The alleged link between the game's delay and the $250 million bonus became a central point of the contention. The community widely believed that Krafton's actions were a cynical attempt to avoid paying out the substantial sum, which was intended to benefit the entire Unknown Worlds team. This perception fueled profound distrust towards Krafton, with many labeling their actions as blatantly greedy and corrupt. Beyond the financial aspects, fans voiced concerns about the future quality of Subnautica 2 without its original creative leadership. The community's reaction highlighted the emotional investment players have in beloved franchises and their strong desire to see developers treated fairly. To truly understand the Subnautica 2 drama, it's essential to place it within the broader context of the video game industry though. Acquisitions are a common strategy for a larger publisher to expand their portfolio. Krafton clearly wanted the highly successful Subnautica IP and the creative team behind it. The earnout clause, a central element in this dispute, is a prime example of a common yet potentially problematic financial mechanism in acquisitions. Earnouts motivate teams to deliver, but when performance targets aren't met or are disputed, they can become flashpoints. The staggering size of the $250 million earnout in this case amplified these tensions probably. The situation also highlights the power imbalance between a large publisher and a smaller IP-centric studio. Publishers oversee release dates, budgets, and major direction. Indies want time, polish, and creativity. When those clash like here, you get delays, leadership shakeups, public statements, and lawsuits. Losing your founders post-acquisition isn't uncommon. It's cultural friction, contractual friction, or sometimes people are just moving on. For Krafton, that's now a gamble on retaining what made the franchise loved in the first place. The Subnautica 2 conflict is far from over, I guess. The lawsuit filed by Charlie Cleveland, Ted Gill, and Max McGuire against Krafton will undoubtedly be a long and complex legal battle. For Subnautica 2 itself, the future remains somewhat uncertain. While Unknown Worlds' current management has reaffirmed its commitment to the game's vision and its single-player, no microtransaction model, the controversy has undoubtedly cast a shadow. The game's success will now depend not only on its quality, but also on how the community perceives Krafton's handling of the situation. What we take from all that isn't black and white. So, here's what we know. Krafton says they saw real content and polish deficiencies, internally validated by these leaked slides. And then they delayed, replaced the leadership, and even offered roles that were refused. The founders say that the game was early access ready, that internal reviews support this assessment, and planned a split of the bonus, $225 million for them and $25 million for the staff. Charlie admitted on his podcast though that he was focusing on filmmaking, not games. Max McGuire also allegedly declined to return as a technical director when asked. These incidents make it clear that the leadership disengaged at least to a certain degree. And those internal slides confirmed missing biomes, trimmed chapters, and a stripped-down minimum viable product build, supporting Krafton's quality concerns, but also, on the other hand, showing a functional game. At the heart of this disagreement is also a deeper tension. What does ready even mean? To Krafton, ready might imply sequel-grade polish, wide appeal, and market impact. For the founders, ready meant what proper early access has mostly stood for: a strong, playable core for the fans, with the rest to follow. Both perspectives are valid in their own frame, but probably fundamentally incompatible when tied to a 250 million contract. And it's fair to say this too. If you walk away with hundreds of millions while your team splits a fraction of that, yes, it's better than what most executives do in these cases, but it doesn't make you a saint. It's only the start of building a fairer economic model. So who's the villain? The answer probably isn't either side. Rather, it's a broken system with oversized earnouts, rigid corporate timelines, conflicting expectations, and thin trust that creates a playground for conflict. And while researching, I've got the feeling that both sides might be withholding some uncomfortable information concerning their own actions and their own narrative. That's why, until the courts decide, this remains for me a cautionary tale. In my books, it's far too early to take either side. If you liked the video, a thumbs up would mean a lot to me, and it really helps get the word out. Alright, thanks for stopping by, and catch you in the next one.